Hello everyone. The topic for today is about machine learning. What is machine learning? This is how you train a model to identify different types of objects. That's how you predict different types of objects. You can use the living things and non-living things. For example, if you want to identify if it is a dog or the object is a cat or something like that. But in our case, we'll be using the JavaScript here to write a program. Okay, why JavaScript? Because later on, we'll be using, of course, the Google Takeables to export and to upload the program. Well, of course, that will be your assignment to use that program in your GitHub, or you can use that as part of your TensorFlow program to be imported in your JavaScript program for your application. So you can use this in your desktop or maybe in your mobile application. So in this lesson, this is not a tutorial but a lesson. We'll be using the lesson here for our project references. And for your project references, this is fit for those IT students and for those students who would like to learn about machine learning. Okay, so how we will start for our with our machine learning with the JavaScript? Well, all you have to do is to open your favorite, class JavaScript editor. You can use the Visual Studio or other editor. Mine is I'm using the Programmist, okay, because I want things to be in lighter mode, and at the same time I would like to create a quick application. So I think you have already the basic in JavaScript, but if you don't have that basic, well, you can visit my YouTube channel and check, of course, the JavaScript playlist. Okay, so we start with the JavaScript program class. I suppose that you have this basic in JavaScript, so I'll be using, of course, a simple program right here to create my own model. So we have here the ML model. Okay, so this is your class. Okay, all right, and well, of course, we start to create our what constructor right here. Okay, that is a constructor, and then we start with our okay. So what's next? So this is where we create the array. The array is just like a container where we put different types of items. It starts with the zero index, and that's how you communicate with your program. You need to store different types of information. So we have here to use that called the this point data, the properties. We have here the variable of array. Okay, that's it. After that, what's next? So let us proceed. Now, the next part is to create the trainable functions. These trainable functions will, of course, identify different types of model by means of the parameters. So let us create, of course, the train, and then you can use different name if you want. No? But mine is, I want is this to be intuitive so that everybody can understand, of course, the codes, no? Items. Okay. After that, okay, what's the purpose of the label item? So we are creating the label. This is part of the supervised model. So label means, well, of course, this will be labeled as as an item so that we can predict it when we check, of course, the object. Okay. So we have two parameters right now. We have the label items, and what's next? So we need to create, of course, the item structure items. Okay. And of course, the period is just like, of course, you have the parameter we'll be using, of course, the method for the loop statement. So we have the for each. Okay. And then we have here the item. Now, it's just like we are creating here, of course, the basic programming for JavaScript using, of course, the arrow, the arrow function. Okay, so we have here the arrow function. Okay, now we have to use, of course, this statement right here. So this is already automated. Okay, I'm using the Programmist. No, I mean, of course, the blocking of statements and other things, they are paired to one another to make your work easier. So what's next? So we have to use, of course, this item again, and at the same time, we need to push the data. Okay, the data here is just part of the array, and at the same time, we call, of course, the push method for the array to push this item. What will be this item? Okay, as you can see, we have the pair of open and close space. That's how we identify, of course, this object inside, of course, our containers. We have here the item, okay, and then we have another label. Okay, okay, what's next? Don't forget, of course, the syntax. We have to use, of course, the semicolon. Okay, here. This is how we, of course, continue and we use the exact grammar of JavaScript. And of course, what's next? This is how we predict now. Predict the label for a given item. Okay. So this is not the prediction. Though this is basic again, no? I mean, JavaScript is very versatile of a programming technology wherein you can apply this because, well, later in your advanced study, you can use the TensorFlow as part of your library or API to create a more complex program for production. Okay, so we have here the predict, and then at the same time, you have the item. So we have another function right here. So this is your function. Okay, you don't need to put more functions because, well, of course, this part we are writing, advanced, not advanced programming, but of course, the very red syntax to create your OOP in JavaScript. Okay, what's next? So we have here to put the item predict. So this is another what function, and we have here of course this is part of the functions or method, or we have here of course we have here the parameter. After that we have to call of course the items. Okay, items dot, and then we have to call it again in the next part, product item. So product item is just like, I'm sorry, this is what you call, we not what, I'm sorry, we need to declare of course the constant right here for the matches. Okay, so the matches is like this for data. Oh, sorry. And then we have of course the filter. So the filter is just like we use it to check of course the information if it has matches. Okay, so that's the purpose of that. After that, what will happen, because we have filter entry item. So this is part of our entry item. Okay. We have here the statement of filter. What's the purpose of filter? Let us check, of course, the JavaScript program right here, and let us go to W3 Schools to check what's the purpose of filter. Okay. This will make our life easier. Okay. If you have problems or things that you don't understand, especially if the syntax is a bit cryptic, all you have to do is to go to the W3 Schools or in either website so that it can help you how to dissect the statement and how to unfold the grammar of the command. So we have to need to look for the filter. So we have here the aliv filter. So this will return the array of all values in all items inside the array. So that's the purpose of the filter. The filter method creates a new array filled with elements that pass tests provided by a function. So the filter method does not execute the functions for empty statements. The filter method does not change the original array. So that's the filter. Okay. Let us go back right here in our program. Okay. So we have already provided you the basic of filter statement. So this is very useful when you are applying for the array. Now what's next? So we have here the entry, and then we need to use the arrow functions. If you don't understand the arrow functions, then I will suggest that you go to our to my YouTube channel. Checking my JavaScript playlist for that. Okay, so we have here the entry. So we have entry, and then we have entry. This is like this one, of course. No, if you don't understand this thing, this is just like you are this one. No, this is the arrow function. Okay. At the same time, this is the property will focus to our instance variable. The filter is part of your JavaScript, of course, method or function. And this is equivalent if you're writing your functions for entry. You can use sequence functions, more alternatives, but this time we're using the other the arrow functions. Okay. What's next? All right. So we have here the entry right now, and then entry.item. Okay, this items belongs to your object at the top. At the same time, we need to use what? Of course, equals sign. What's the purpose of that? Why we're using, of course, the triple equal sign? What's the purpose, the significance of this? So, double equal sign is totally different from triple equal sign. Why? Because double equal sign, it will only compare the value. But this time, we are comparing the value. At the same time, we're comparing the types of data. Okay? Now, I think you can understand that, the meat of using the three equal sign. So, we have to incorporate to the item. Okay, what's next? So after that, well, of course, we need to check, of course, the matches of the length. So the matches is that, of course, it will return the first match label of the item. So we have to use, of course, the basic decision support. In machine learning, we call that algorithm as part of decision tree. Okay, if, and then we have here matches, and then dot, and then length. So length is okay, is a method. Is return zero, then what will happen? Okay, let us put it right here. What will happen? So this will return the first match of the label. So we need to use the return, and then same time matches. And then what's next? We have to use, of course, the first index of the data, and then point the label. Okay. So please try to check and review, of course, the array methods and the array stuff. Okay. And if the matches is not found, is not predicted, then it will what? Return what? And then we can use any string right here. We can return what? Unknown. Okay. Unknown. Sorry about that. Unknown. Meaning, of course, if no match is found, then we can return this thing. Okay. After that, what will happen? Okay, let us match the first part because we have how many if and else condition. This is very important to check, of course, the placement of the code. All right, that's it. Okay. Now, what's the next part? We need to create a model. Okay, create a model right here. This is the most crucial part of the data, create the model. Because in machine learning, well, of course, we often talk about the model. So this model is composed of different items, different algorithms, so that this model can identify what kind of item you want to predict. Okay, so we have here constant. Again, we use constant, and then we have the model as our variable here. Sorry, equals to new, and then simple, and of course, because this is now to instantiate, of course, the object. Okay, because this is an OP, so we need to instantiate this object right here. So we have here the model, and we need to create our own what constructor right here. Okay, I think you are following. Where's that constructor? At the top. Okay, where's that? At the top. So we have the class here. So we need to copy this one. Control C. And then after that, we return right here. Control V. Simple model. So we have the constructor there. At the same time, we have the instantiations of the object that's model. We put, of course, the open parenthesis because we don't have any parameter in that program. So after that, what will happen? So we have to train the model here. And uh, well, we need now to to castigate, of course, the different objects so that we can train. Now, our target is to identify if uh, if the animal is a dog or a cat. That is the very basic frame that because there are lots of variants about dogs. There are Labrador, Beagle, Bulldog. For the cats, we have Siamese, Persian, and Bengal. If we enter anything outside in the purview of the of that items, then of course the model will return you this word unknown. Okay. So we start first to train the model. How to train the model? We have the model right here. This is the instantiated object. And we call, of course, those, those functionalities at the top that this is your class program simple model. Okay, we start first to train the model. Now let us review first what is the content. What is the content of this model? Okay, we have the model, what you call this? We have the, no, the following, trainable functions here. As you can see, we read everything inside the item and we label it so that we can predict what is that in the item using the array. And this is where we create, of course, our label to check, of course, the matches for every item inside the array. And if the matches is greater than 0, then, of course, we need to say there are items that can be found in the array. So we need to say we need to check the first item and, of course, match the first label. If that item is not found in the array, well, of course, that is unknown. So therefore, we need now to instantiate everything so that we can check. This time, this is to check, of course, the model. Okay, we train the model right here. So if you want to train the model, of course, we create a very simple program to use the model. Model, what? Instantiate objects, model, and then we have to use the train. What's the purpose of train? Okay, so this train right now, this is where we check every item inside the model. We have the item and label. So there are, I think we can, for each item, we can use different item here. Push item, we can use 2 or 3 items. Let us push the 3 item to train the model. So this model are part of the supervised model because this is already tagged as part of the data. Okay. So there you have it. So we have to use the train. And at the same time, we start with the dog. So the dog is the label. Okay. And after that, we need to use, of course, the list or array. As you can see, this is the list of the array. You check it, of course. This is part of the list of the array. Look at that. So this is the first part, dog. This is the label. And these are the items. If you want to check, of course, why we have this kind of parameter, because at the top of the program, we have the train model for the labels and the items. There you have it. If you look at that, we have it here. All right, items, label, and the items. Okay, and these are the catalysts to check, of course, its items inside the model, to be trained inside the model. I hope that you're following the trail of my discussion. Okay, so let's go back right here at the bottom. So we have to train it. Inside the train model, we have here, of course, the array. This is another parameter. So we need to identify the different elements here. Let's say Labrador, comma, unique, right? We have another choice beagle. Okay, dog. And then we have, of course, the bulldog, bull or a skull. Okay. All right. So we have 3 elements inside, of course, our arrays. Next is we again train the model for another items. So let us predict it. Okay. Let us train it for another items. This is where we train it. Okay. Model train. This time we will be using the cat. We'll be talking about different types of cats, the variants of cats. So for the first part, we have the cat. It is very popular among the cats. We have the Siamese cat, right? Okay. So that's how we put it. Okay. So we have here the Siamese cat. So let us put here Siamese. Okay. Another model, another item that we would like to check is to train the model is the Persian cat. I am sure that Persian cat is very popular. Okay, they are so cute. So Persian cat, we have of course the, let's say we put here Bengal type of cat. Okay. Next, after that, what will happen? So we have this model at the top. Okay, we already trained this model to be identified by the model function. Remember, this model is the instantiations of the object coming from the model using different types of methods inside the class. We have here the train methods, and we have here the predict method. Okay, so this predict method and train method is this is part now of our model, because model is the child of this class simple model. Okay, so let's continue. What's next? So we need now to test the model. Okay, test the prediction. We will predict this one. Okay. Okay. In this case, we are using the supervised learning because these are all labeled and predicted. All right. So we have to use the console.log. Okay. Now we are in the last portion of our code. Console.log, and then we need to check the first model. Now we need to use the model that predict. Remember this model. Okay. Please check this out. This predict is a method. So this model now will of course will communicate to the predict method. This is owned by the simple model at the top. Okay. Look at this one. Look at this. We have here the predict method. Okay. So this is the predict method. Okay. We need to check every item inside the array. All right. So what will happen is we need to predict the model by using the parameters of predict. So predict has only one parameter. Look at that at the top. We have only one parameter here. Okay. So let's move right here. Let's say I want to predict something. Predict, this is the method where we predict the model. Let's say I will predict Labrador. Okay. All right. This is how we predict it. Another is we predict another model. What's that model? So we can use, of course, another model, console.log, and then we have to use what? Another is, let's say we have here a skull. Okay. And then another model for the cat, we can use let's say, what is that cat model? We can use the Persian. Okay. There you have it. So we have already finished the program. From the start, well, of course, we have this simple program in our JavaScript. We have, of course, simple constructor from the top. And at the same time, we train the model. And of course, we train, of course, the model with different items. We go through the items right here. And at the same time, we push the items inside, of course, the label, the array. And we predict each item in the array. At the same time, we use zero because this is how we start. Okay, to check, of course, the items in our array container. Let us run the program. So we have here dog, dog, cat, cat. What happened? Because for one thing, no, Labrador is a dog. And of course, Ascal is a dog. If I'll again use another prediction here, I will say, okay, if I will say beagle, okay, what will happen? This is part of the dog. Now again, let us check again to predict. If I say, let's say brownie, so this will return what? Unknown. Okay. So this is now, of course, the simple machine learning for JavaScript. Just imagine if you have hundreds of thousands, millions of different dogs and cats, then this can turn into an artificial intelligence. But for your further study, you can train another model by including those foreign models so that it will be part of your arrays. So you can use the for loop statement to create those things. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe.